10 minutes that changed human history forever. Opening hook. VO. 10 minutes. Short enough to ignore, long enough to rewrite reality. Across centuries of human existence, entire civilizations rose and fell over lifetimes. But a few rare moments, just a few minutes, detonated change so violent, so unexpected, so powerful, that nothing on earth was the same afterward. Today, we relive 5 10-minute shocks that altered the path of every human alive at this very moment. Stay with me, because the final moment is still unfolding, and you are living inside its consequences right now. 1. The 10 minutes that silenced a republic. The assassination of Julius Caesar, 44 BCE. VO. March 15th. The Ides. Rome awakens under a warm, uneasy sun. Julius Caesar, general, dictator, visionary, and threat, walks toward the theater of Pompey for a Senate meeting he believes will be routine. It is not. Inside, 60 senators circle like shadows cast by a dying flame. For months they've whispered, plotted, convinced themselves they carry the last hope of saving the republic. But in their trembling hands hide more than noble intentions. They hide blades. Caesar enters the chamber. A conspirator approaches, grabs his toga, and in the next 10 frantic minutes, the fate of the ancient world disintegrates. The first stab strikes. Then another. And another. 23 wounds, some glancing, some deep, one piercing the chest with fatal precision. The Senate floor becomes chaos. The man who expanded Rome's dominion across continents collapses onto its cold stone. And in that short window of violence, the Roman Republic, over 450 years old, dies with him. Within months, civil war rips the empire apart. Within decades, Caesar's adopted heir Octavian rises as Augustus, the first Roman emperor. The world shifts from democracy in chaos to dictatorship in order. A model empires will follow for 2,000 years. 10 minutes. A republic ends, an empire begins, and history bends at the blade. Remember this pattern. It returns later in our story. 2. 10 minutes that connected the world. The first telegraph message, 1844. VO. Fast forward 2 millennia. For all of human history, communication crawled. A message could travel only as fast as a horse could run, a ship could sail, or a person could walk. Empires fell because information arrived late. Lives were lost because help came too slowly. All of that changes on May 24, 1844. In the U.S. Capitol, Samuel Morse sits before a simple device. Keys, coils, and copper wires stretching 40 miles to Baltimore. Crowds gather. Skeptics scoff. Scientists lean in. No one fully understands what is about to happen. At 8:45 a.m., Morse begins tapping. Dots. Dashes. A rhythm as ancient as drums, but powered by something new, electricity. The message travels in seconds, not hours, and when the operator in Baltimore receives it and taps confirmation back, those watching fall silent. What hath God wrought? A question, a warning, and a prophecy delivered in 10 revolutionary minutes. Instant communication is born. Within decades, telegraph lines stretch across continents. Within a century, cables lie across the ocean floor. Your smartphone buzzes because of those 10 minutes. Satellites orbit Earth because of those 10 minutes. Every text, every email, every notification, all of it traces back to a single electric whisper in 1844. 3. 10 minutes that split the atom. The birth of nuclear fission, 1938. In a Berlin laboratory in late December 1938, chemists Otto Hahn and Fritz Strassmann conduct a routine experiment. They bombard uranium with neutrons, expecting predictable results, something slightly heavier, slightly unstable. But that isn't what they find. Not at all. They find barium, a much lighter element, something that should have been impossible. Confused, they send the data to Lisa Meitner and her nephew, Otto Frisch. On a cold walk through the Swedish snow, Meitner studies the numbers. She scribbles equations. Frisch runs calculations, and then, within 10 breathtaking minutes, realization strikes like lightning. The atom, the indivisible building block of all matter, has been split, and splitting it releases unimaginable energy. Meitner had discovered the mechanism. Frisch confirmed the math. Hahn had triggered it unknowingly. Together, they revealed what would be called nuclear fission. In those 10 minutes of realization, humanity unlocks both the energy to power cities and the force to vaporize them. World leaders take notice. Scientists mobilize. Within 7 years, the Manhattan Project delivers its terrible proof in the skies over Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The geopolitical world order of the past 80 years, the Cold War, nuclear deterrence, global diplomacy, exists because of those 10 minutes of discovery. Humanity learned it could end itself, and we've lived with that possibility ever since. 4. 10 minutes that lifted humanity off the Earth. Apollo 11 launch, 1969. July 16, 1969. Florida heat shimmers around a white giant, the Saturn V, the most powerful rocket ever built by human hands. Inside the command module sit 3 astronauts, Armstrong, Collins, Aldrin, each strapped into seats above over 7.5 million pounds of explosive fuel. At T-10 minutes, the world holds its breath. Children press faces to television screens. Soviet leaders watch with tightened jaws. Millions gather around radios. The countdown begins. 10, 9, 8. A decade of failures, explosions, and lives lost hangs on each number. 7, 6, 5. A signal ignites engines the size of buildings. 4, 3, 2, 1. Launch. The ground shakes, birds scatter, clouds rip apart. The Saturn V rises, slowly at first, then faster, pulling free from Earth's gravity. In 10 thunderous minutes, humanity leaves its home world. This is more than a mission, more than a political contest. This is a species proving to itself that the impossible is just another frontier. 4 days later, a human foot presses into lunar dust. But that moment, the moon landing, was made possible because of these 10 minutes of roaring ascent. For the first time in 4 billion years, Earth watched its children fly. 5. 10 minutes that brought down a wall. The fall of the Berlin Wall, 1989. Hammers strike concrete, police radios crackle. VO. For 28 years, the Berlin Wall split families, friends, lovers, and dreams. Concrete, barbed wire, and gun towers divided east from west. It symbolized fear, oppression, and a world frozen under Cold War tension. But on November 9, 1989, fate intervenes, in the form of a simple mistake. An East German official, unprepared and flustered during a press conference, is asked when new travel regulations will take effect. He shuffles papers, confuses documents, then casually states they are effective immediately and without delay. The world stops. Within minutes, East Berliners rush to the checkpoints. Guards, confused and outnumbered, radio for orders. None come. Crowds grow, pressure builds. And within 10 breathtaking, history-shaking minutes, The guards do the unthinkable. They open the gate. Tears, screams, laughter erupt. People climb the wall, dance on top of it, and tear pieces away with their bare hands. Families reunite after decades of separation, and the Cold War begins its long, inevitable collapse. The Iron Curtain doesn't fall through conflict. It falls through 10 minutes of confusion, courage, and unstoppable human will. Closing. The next 10 minutes are coming. VO. 5 moments. 50 minutes total. But these minutes shaped empires, split atoms, connected continents, launched humans into space, and freed millions from oppression. 10 minutes can be ordinary, or they can turn the world upside down. But here is the truth most people forget. The next world-changing 10 minutes haven't happened yet. They could begin with a discovery in a forgotten lab, a glitch in a global system, a message transmitted across networks, or a moment of courage from one single person. It might be happening right now, this very second, as you watch this video. History doesn't change slowly. History changes suddenly, unexpectedly, irreversibly. When the next 10-minute moment arrives, will you recognize it? Or will you realize only afterward that the world just shifted beneath your feet?